next folder, longer conquering lessons. Okay, so these were, I did short lessons and long lessons. And so if you think it's a chapter that's pretty easy for you, you might do the short lesson folder and say, well, I pretty much know these, but I'll listen to the short lesson, which might be 15 minutes. The longer lesson might be 25 or 30 minutes. That's the only difference between them. And some are the same. I just put them in both folders because I didn't have two different ones, but sometimes I had shorter ones. PowerPoint games. Who wants to get an A? So if you want more games to play, right? There's these. Here's chapter 1 again. And it will come up like this. If you have PowerPoint on your computer, it comes up like this. If not, it will come up like this. And I'll show you in a minute what to do if you don't have PowerPoint. You click Begin, and you have Game Play. And so you click Category 2 for 200 points, and you click on the audio clip. I'm going to turn the speakers back up, or on. And you click on that.
Spell grief. The loss of his business caused him much grief. Grief.
And so you can write it down, or you can just say it, G-R-I-E-F, right? And then you click on the answer key, and there it is. Okay? And then back to the game. We'll do one more.
Spell shield. A missile defense plan will shield us from our enemies. Shield.
So you spell it again. Probably writing it is the best idea. And there's some pages in your book where you can write these things down, and that would be S-H-I-E-L-D, right? There you go. And you go back to the game. Okay. So that's how the game works. Now, a very important thing, when you finish the game, you have to push the escape key, or you'll be looking at the screen for the rest of your life, right? So push the escape key, and that gets you out of it. So you don't, you have to do the workbook, all the work in the workbook. That's required. So I know that you're not just somebody that signed up for the course to get 3 units and you don't really need to do it, So I want to make sure that people are doing the work. The games are all optional. All the games are optional, but what better way is there to learn the words than play games all day, right? And like I said, the ones that are in WebCT, you can download to your iPod, your whatever you have that'll take a picture file. You just have to go in there and look at the directions. I'll show you those directions. In fact, I'll do that right now while I'm thinking of it. Go here, go in the game folder, and you click on the state, or the chapter. And right here it tells you, click on that and it gives you directions. iPods, PSP devices, and others, iPod Nano Classic, download and installation instructions. You click on that, and then you choose Windows or Mac, and then you print that out, and it tells you how to do it. And I've been giving my students bonus points for doing that in the other classes. It's been working out really well. All the students almost, I'd say like 98% of the students that take the time to put the files on their iPods, things like that, they're getting A's. Plus they're getting bonus points on top of it, but they're getting A's, like they're getting like a 90 or a 92, and then they're getting 5 bonus points on top of that, so it's pretty cool. If you take the time to do that, I'd be willing to give you guys 5 bonus points on your midterm and final. If you bring in and show me your iPod, you've been doing the files and using the files. Or if you print out the study cards, that's the other thing. If you don't have the electronic devices, but you want to take the time to print out the study cards for every chapter and use them, bring those to the midterm and final, and I'll give you 5 bonus points. Okay? So I like to make little deals like that. Give you some incentive to use the technology or things that are there. That would be the same. Oh, these would be the study cards without the letter grouping, I believe. I create so many things, sometimes I forget what I created. There we go. That's the words without the letter grouping. So if you just want the words without the letter grouping, you can also print those out. So you can actually print these on one side and the letter group words on the other side if you wanted to. Okay. And let's see what's next on the disk. There's a blank template. If you want to type in your own words, maybe you're taking a nursing course or something like that, automotive or whatever. You have words that you want to learn for that course, just type them in and make your own words and save them as a new file. This is an old version of the syllabus. I'll have to take that off next time. Use the new one that I sent you in email. Here's the Adobe, well that's different, that's not what I want. PowerPoint Reader. This, you click on this and you can load it into your computer, and that will allow you to play that game I showed you that looks like Jeopardy. Okay? And to load that in, just click on it, go to the setup folder, click on that, and then click on this setup exe and follow the directions. That will allow you to do that. Now, another way to get the games to play is to load in OpenOffice. If you click on this folder and it opens up, and I guess these people just didn't like Bill Gates, so they created something that works just like Microsoft Office and just like PowerPoint, just like Access and Excel, and they allow you to give it away for free. So you can load that into your computer and use that if you want to. And then there's the Adobe Reader. Now the Adobe Reader allows you to bring your workbook up on the computer screen. So maybe you're away for the weekend, you just bring your laptop, you don't want to bring your book, you can bring the book on the disk with you and just click on this. Well, actually this loads in, I didn't mean to do that. This loads in the Adobe Reader, which once you load that in, it allows you to bring the book up. I meant to bring the book up, not load the Adobe Reader. Let me see if I get out of this. Okay. And once you load that in, the Adobe Reader, now you might already have that on your computer. If you have, you know, Adobe Reader, you don't have to load this one in. But if you don't, you load that in, and then here's the ebook of this text, of this workbook. It will bring the entire book up on the screen. Another nice thing about this is if you're like me, you don't like wearing your glasses, click over here, you can scroll through it. You can bring it up on the screen, you can enlarge the font and everything. So you can actually have your computer sitting next to you when you're working in your workbook, and you can read it on the screen. If I get rid of that, it's at 95% right now. I can make that, say, 125. Much easier to read. I do this for everything. I even like reading the newspaper online now, because I can increase the font. I don't have to wear my glasses. And so there it is, and then you see your exercise. You can't interact with it, but you can see it online, and then you can do your work in the workbook. The only other things you need to know about the course, probably, unless you have some questions, is you have a midterm and a final which you need to come to campus for. And I'll send out some notice to you well in advance of when that's going to be. I haven't really chosen dates yet. But halfway through, you know, if you're in an 8-week section, it'll be the fourth, somewhere around the end of the 4th week. If you're in a 10-week section, somewhere around the end of the 5th week. If you're in a 16-week section, somewhere around the end of the 8th week is when the midterm would be. Then the final would be, you know, probably at the beginning of the last week, so that we can get it finished and all the grades put in and everything. So, and I'll send you a notice at least a good week in advance. And in the midterm and final, you have to have 75% or above to pass the class. So you have all these things that you can do in the meantime to see whether you know the words or not, and continue to practice and do the games and do the practice test, and then you know if you're ready for the midterm and the